All right, you guys, my fifth and sixth graders, guess what today is? Today is your last day of science. Are you excited? Are you sad? I'm a little bit sad. I'm going to miss this. I'm not going to miss having an empty classroom. I'm going to tell you that right now. But I am going to miss being able to still hear from you guys and to kind of stay connected to you in this way. But I will be looking forward to when we get back to regular school. Because you guys are fifth and sixth graders, things are going to change for you. Some of you will be in our Da Vinci Middle School. Some of you will be going to traditional school. Some of you will be going to different programs. And no matter where you go or how sixth grade or seventh grade looks for you next year, I just want you to know I am super proud of you. This was hard. It was hard, not like, crazy hard, but it was different and it was a change and you guys adapted and you just kind of jumped on board. And I'm really proud of you for doing your lessons and staying on task and connecting with me and letting me know how you're doing these experiments at home, learning all of this curriculum along with your other curriculum where we usually get to be with our friends and be at school, doing it on your own. So I'm really proud of you guys. You've done a great job. This was hopefully once in a lifetime experience of having to change and drop out of school in the middle of the year and be a little bit isolated and quarantined. So I'm hopeful that this is something we won't be doing again. But I'm just really proud of you. So give yourselves a pat on the back, and let's have fun with this last week. So everything that we've done this entire semester, so both while you were in school and during our video lessons, we've tried to make sure and cover all of the curriculum that you need and all of the questions or all of the material that you need to stay right on level with your sixth grade curriculum. So one way to find out if you've learned and you've kind of retained that information is obviously to play a game. Now, games are the bomb. They're so fun when we're all together. We are not all together, but our curriculum writer for sixth grade science has created a really cool Jeopardy game that you guys can play. This is still going to be fun. You're still going to be able to challenge yourself, and you're still going to be able to see how much of this information you retained. The way you do it, you're just going to be able to do it on your own. If you want to enlist mom or dad to play with you, maybe a couple of people to play with you, a sibling, you guys can do this all together. So let me show you how it's going to work. On your extra supply sheet, there is linked the Jeopardy game, and it will say to view and play. So that's what you're going to open. And this is what it's going to look like. Well, I'll show you in 1 second. Below that, you're going to be able to link the game board, the Jeopardy game board, and it says to print. Let me show you what that looks like. So here's, okay, that's the game. This is your Jeopardy game board, game tracker. So see how it looks just like a Jeopardy. How many, you guys have all played Jeopardy, right? Okay, if not, hang on. This you want to print. You're going to leave this next to your device or your computer while you're playing your game. As you are answering the different questions, each one of these topics is going to have 5 questions below it, right? So we've got structure and motion within the solar system, energy and matter, weather and climate, ecosystems, and then this is like potpourri or mystery question. So in each of those categories, you'll have 5 questions. The way they play Jeopardy is each one of those questions has a dollar value, $100, $200, $3, $4, and $5. Obviously, the $100 questions are going to be a little easier than the $500 questions. So it's up to you how you want to start building your points. Do you want to start out easy and work your way across the board asking those questions? Do you want to go right to the hard stuff and go backwards? Do you want to go somewhere in the middle? Do you want to see what the challenges are? Do you want to do one whole category, knock it out, and then move on to the next one? 100% up to you. So the reason I'm having you print off this game board is that when you play the interactive game, there won't be a way for you to keep track on that presentation of which questions you've already done. So this is how you're going to do it. So say you go in and you ask yourself the weather and climate for 200 points. So after you answer it, if you get it right, maybe you can decide how you want to do it. But if you get it right, maybe you'll circle it. So you know, oh, I got 200 points for answering weather and climate, 200. And then if you got it wrong, maybe you could like X through it or cross it out or however you want to know, or say no, whatever you want to do. So this is going to be your game board, and it's going to get you all the way through the game. Now, here is Jeopardy! When you pull up the game, it's going to open up just like this. You want to be in presentation mode right here. Start presentation. If you stay in this mode, all of the stuff over here on the left will have the questions and the answers, and you don't want to be able to see that because it's not going to let you choose which game, which category, and which level of question. This is what it's going to look like. Science Jeopardy! So once you get in, first off, what you want to do is click over here and go to presentation mode. Okay. Once you're here, to advance, you just click your space bar, or you can go down here and go to slide number 2, or you can go like this. So this is your Jeopardy game board. And this is where you'll be able to go back to after each question that you've answered. There'll be a little icon in the bottom right-hand corner of the question that will say return to the game board. So every time you answer a question, you'll come back here. But see how once you click a question, it won't like white it out or black it out or cross it out. You won't have any way to keep track of which question you've asked. That's why you have the Jeopardy game piece that you're going to print off and keep to the side. Okay. So what was the example? We did weather and climate for 200. So you're going to decide in each of those categories which question you want to ask. Let's do this one for example. So you'll click on it. So you've got weather and climate, $200 question. Name one thing that affects the weather. So you sit and think for a second. If you want to use a timer, maybe you could get your phone out or get a timer out or watch the clock. Maybe you only want to let yourself have 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds. It's up to you. In class, we probably would have given some kind of a timer. So name one thing that affects weather. So you'll sit for a second and think. If you want to play the game where you write it down for yourself to see if you're right, or you just know that you said it out loud. If you're playing with a buddy or a parent, they'll know that you didn't say one thing that affects the weather is cows. Was that right? I don't know. So down here, bottom right-hand corner is always where you're going to go to either see the answer or go back to the game board. So right here, you click to see the answer. Here are the things, if you answered any of these, you would get your 200 points. So the temperature of the land, the temperature of the water, air current, air moisture, air pressure. So if any of those was your answer, or if you answered a couple of them, you get 200 points. So you'd go back to your game board, your tracker, your game tracker that you printed out, and you'd either circle it or X it out, and you'll know. Start keeping track of your points. And then you come down here and go back to the game board. Click, and here you are. So see how it didn't do anything to that $200? You don't want to do that question again. Okay, then you just move along. Energy and matter, structure and solar system, and you go through the entire game board, keeping track of yourself over here on oh, that's me. That would be me. Keeping track of what you're doing here on your game board. So after you've played the game and you've answered all the questions, if you're playing this with another person or a couple of people, you'll probably want to either figure out a way to divide, maybe with initials, so I'm Mrs. Jensen on weather and climate number 200. I answered it incorrectly because I said cows. So maybe I'd put a J with an X through it, or, a J in red. I didn't get it right. And then I'm playing with, Bob over here, and Bob got it right. So maybe I'd have a B with a circle around it, and he got the 200 points. Or you can just print more of these off or create yourself. See how easy that is? Okay. So as you're playing the game, all of these different questions, meeting my hair, all of these different questions, their answers will be from, did you see that? How was weather and climate? And you guys knew that from doing our experiments with air pressure and air current. Give yourself some slack. We've done a little bit different learning, this remote learning that we've done in the last several weeks. It's just been a little bit different, but we have tried to cover every single one of these topics. So obviously some of the discussion that would have come up in a regular classroom didn't, unless you've been having some really deep science discussions with your pet rock or mom or dad or whoever's hanging around with you. So see how you do. See how you do on the game. maybe if you want to play it more than once, because you've done a quick review, and then see how you do the second time. So when it's all over, you could use however you decided to set up your tracker sheet and add up your points and see what you got. See how many points, what your dollar total would have been. Would you have, been able to go out and buy a new car, go out and buy dinner for everybody? There is an option to play Final Jeopardy. So if you've watched the game, you know that Final Jeopardy, you would wager, you would decide, okay, so I added up all my points and I got 3,000 points for answering, the questions on the game right. So Final Jeopardy would say, do you think you can get this answer right? How sure are you? So you'd say, I bet I'm going to wager half my points. So 1,500 points. You don't have to play it that way. You can just answer the Final Jeopardy question as sort of like a, yay, I got it. Or you can play it the same way they do on TV. It's totally up to you. But your Final Jeopardy question will have a topic, and then you'll go, I don't know if I remember that much about cows or whatever. And then you'll answer that question. So does that make sense? If you're watching this video and you have any questions before you get started, send me a fast email and I'll see if I can help you out. Hopefully it's pretty self-explanatory. We've played Jeopardy in class a couple of times in history and in science and other classes. So hopefully it's something that you're familiar with. If it's a little bit confusing, just play it like a regular game in your mind. Don't give it point values or totals. You can just ask yourself those questions, but knowing that there's the 5 categories, and then each level of question from 1 to 5, 100 to 500 gets like easier down to harder. And you can just see how you do. So I'd love to know what you thought. Our awesome Mrs. Thompson that some of you guys have for science in Ogden. Well, lots of you in Ogden have. She's the one that wrote these questions and developed the game. So you guys can even give her an email and a thumbs up if you had a good time with that. It's fun. And I'm sure it was a lot of work. So I give her lots and lots of applause for creating such a fun review for us. And guys, that is it. That is our last lesson. So this is fun for you guys to just sort of finish out on that game. But again, I just want to tell you that I am proud of you. You sitting right there, or you and you if you're all together. You've done a great job. And we have been so lucky to be able to be your teachers, your 5th and 6th grade teachers here at Davis and at Ogden. And no matter where you end up next year, if we get to see your faces again at Da Vinci, or if you're headed on to new experiences, I just want to wish you such good luck and let you know that you are incredible. You're incredible students, you're smart, and you are inquisitive, and you're fun. And I have appreciated having you guys in our schools and helping to make our program so wonderful, and that we will miss you a lot. And it's been a hard way to say goodbye to our older kids. And I know your teachers feel exactly the same way, but I just wanted to let you know that we're proud of you and you are going to do amazing things. So look, I wore my last day of school shirt because it's our last lesson. So good luck. Let me know how everything goes and let me know if you have any questions. Okay.